Seats. Help yourself. Taff. Who has the prayer book? I guess you're up. Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Baxter.
Here.
Commissioner Flores. Here. Commissioner Marino. Here. Commissioner Powell. Here. Commissioner Sachs. Commissioner Weiss. Here. Vice Mayor Woodward.
Here.
Thank you.
Commissioner Flores, if you would please lead us in the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. Everyone, if you can stand, please do so.
Today we're going to do a prayer for our soldiers. Gracious God, I pray for our soldiers. Let your grace be a protective shield, guarding them from harm and keeping them close to your love and compassion. May I always remember that you are the one who faced the horrors and dangers of our war firsthand. Help us honor them for their courage and care for them when there is danger to their bodies and spirit. When they are lonely and afraid and long to be with the sure knowledge of your presence at all times in war and peace. Let them feel, O God, deep in their hearts, that your love is always there boundlessly, unconditionally, and eternally. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. County Administrator, any additions, deletions, or substitutions?
There are. Thank you, Mayor. On page 21, 3G3 is an add-on. On page 33, 3H10 is a revised summary. On page 33 as well, 3H10 is a revised summary. On page 35, 3H12 is a revised summary. On page 36, 3H13 is a revised summary. On page 58, 5G2 is an add-on. On page 58, 5G2 is an add-on. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor? Clerk.
We have the maker and seconder stated for the record, please.
Commissioner Flores and Vice Mayor Woodward, please. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that the motion carries 6-0. Also, moving on to consent. Would anyone like to pull anything from consent? Commissioner Woodward.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to pull 3Z1 on page 46.
I'm sorry, could you say that one more time?
3Z1 on
3Z1.
page 46.
Commissioner Weiss.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to pull item 3G2 on page 20.
Anything else? Okay. Which is consent? Okay. If you would please call speaking card to the podium.
On consent, we have item 3G3, Tracy Ferran. Please come up to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
Thank you. My name is Tracy Farron, and I live at 5135 Woodland Drive, Delray Beach, Florida, 33484.
Please.
State my case. I first of all would like to thank Commissioners Weiss and Sachs for getting me on this agenda, and I respectfully request a lien reduction. I sent a letter to all the commissioners stating my situation. I lived with a drug-addicted husband for many years. Thank you for reading my email, Commissioner Weiss. And he subsequently took his own life 3 years ago. He left me with a lot of issues, including taking his 401k and not identifying it with the IRS, so I had to reconcile that. Last year, I had my house on the market. I found out that I had an open permit. I reconciled that. And then this year, when my house was under contract again, it being my only substantial income, my only substantial savings, let's say, I am on a fixed income. And I found out that I had a lien on my house due to a shed that my husband had built, and the lien has been on my house since 2019, unbeknownst to me. And I'm respectfully requesting that it be reduced. It still is a financial hardship at 10%. 3% would be ideal, but I really emotionally, physically need to get out of the home and be closer to my children.
Commissioner Flores, you're recognized.
Did we pull this item?
She's speaking, yeah, on consent. It's on page 21.
I would like to pull the item.
We don't need to. You can just talk about it unless you want a presentation.
Can we discuss it now without pulling it?
David, excuse me. Do we need to pull an item to discuss it on consent?
If you intend to act on it, yes.
Okay, so you're correct. I have a motion to pull item 3G3. Do I have a second? Second. I have a second by Vice Mayor Woodward. All in favor? Any opposed? Please say aye. The motion carries 6-0. Ma'am, we will take this item first. Let's vote on the consent, though, since we have now pulled this item. I need a motion to approve the consent item. I have a first by Commissioner Flores, a second by Vice Mayor Woodward.
Can we please have it stated, the 3 items that were pulled inside the motion, please?
Yes, we have 3Z1, 3G2, and now 3G3 will be pulled from consent. And we do have a motion and a second to approve the consent now of what the items that are left over. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that the motion carries 6-0. Moving on, we will take 3G3 since you are with us. And I will recognize Commissioner Flores, who wanted to make some comments.
I guess I'll refer to our attorney. Is there any leeway on this? On the 10% fee?
Board discretion.
Yes, that's the board's discretion.
Okay. What would be 3% of the fee? Anybody can get me that number?
Sherry, would you like to be recognized?
Yeah, we're pulling it right now. Thank you. This agenda item we added to the commission. There was a lien of about $111,000, and we negotiated a settlement of 10%, which has been our normal practice for homesteaded properties. And Robin's going to tell you what 3% would be exactly.
Good morning, Robin Lawrence, Office of Financial Management and Budget. The 3% amount totals to $3,322.50.
Are you making a motion that?
Yeah, I'm going to make a
reduce?
motion to reduce it to 3%.
Do I have a second? Thank you, Mr. Flores. I'll give to them. Is there a second for that? Commissioner Weiss, you're recognized, or Commissioner Powell?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We talked a little bit about this yesterday. Tell me, and maybe this question is for you, ma'am. I heard the conversation. I don't know how far back it goes with regard to a settlement of the 10%, and I don't have enough background. I think I was told yesterday that the house is for sale, and you're saying you're getting ready to move. With the house being for sale, the 10%, and I haven't looked up what the original cost is, what the sales price is. The 10%, which is $11,075, does it create such a hardship that it doesn't allow you to be able to move to be with your children, or what?
Well, currently, there are 2 other issues with my home that are preventing it, and that's the need for a new roof and the need to change out poly-something piping, because my house was built in 1984. Both of those things were, well, the roof I knew was coming up. It's 10 years old, but I did not know about the piping that needed to be replaced with PEX piping, and that is a $15,000 estimate. So was trying to work it out with my Realtor where we could take it all out after the closing, but it appears that that's too much. The roof, the plumbing, and the lien are too much to take out at the end of closing.
Okay, understood. All right, thank you, Madam Mayor.
Commissioner Powell? Did you want to keep it at 11,000?
That's a good question. I would like to hear from other members of the board. I'm not close enough to the situation, and it's, I'm just finding out. I mean, I would have to have a little bit more information. I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I wouldn't make that decision on the fly today.
Commissioner
That wouldn't be
Weiss?
my choice.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you for being here, and appreciate your letter. This just goes to process and policy. We had made this decision as a board a while ago that we would allow F&B for homesteaded properties to settle them at 10%. We were trying to avoid situations where we're having folks come in and negotiate with the board, because that's what was happening. Everybody was coming in, and not everybody, but a number of folks were coming in and negotiating with the board, and that didn't seem fair. That some people were settling at 10%, some people were settling at something else, and so we came up with that to try and be fair to everybody. I certainly was sympathetic to when I read your letter and to what had happened with your family. But I think it's important to be fair to the other taxpayers in this county as well, as to how we handle these kinds of situations. So, as much as I am sympathetic and want to be compassionate, but I also understand that we had set this policy up, and so that's where I stand with this right now.
I don't have any other lights, so I'm going to comment. The reason we settle these are for multiple different reasons, but I will say 10% wasn't supposed to be hard and fast, or she would not be standing here before us. I believe there are always extenuating circumstances, and I do believe it is very heartless not to take those individual circumstances into consideration. Some people just don't come into compliance, and it was you that you just said you were unaware that these were even stacking up on you.
As I
So
was
you weren't
unaware
even,
of the IRS situation. Sorry to interrupt. Yes.
and so you had several things dealing with after the passing of your husband, and to compile on top of that, to me, does seem heartless. To say that, oh, you should have known, or you should have done, if you knew about it and then you chose not to correct the issue, that's one thing. So I do agree with Commissioner Flores. I think 3% here would be appropriate. I don't know that the rest of the board feels the same, but I don't believe that every circumstance is exactly the same. And this one, I'm so sorry for your loss. If it was just up to me.
May I respond, Mayor?
You, please.
So I just want to say that I've been going through this with my husband for over 10 years. Obviously, we were married 37 years. It didn't start at the beginning of the marriage. It was a gradual decline, and a lot of it was unbeknownst to me. And I tried to remain as loyal as I could, treating it as it is a disease, an addiction, and he had been in and out of rehab multiple times at both of our expense, and then at the end at my expense only, because he was no longer employed, because he got fired for drinking on the job. And yes, I have attempted to clear up everything as soon as I found it out. Last summer, I found out that there was a fence permit. I cleared it, but I was at the county and this never came up. This lien never came up, apparently because it had gone on too long and it was already in collections. So as soon as I found out about the shed, it was torn down in 2 days. So yes, I am trying to reconcile.
So this isn't where you were trying to get away with something you genuinely didn't know?
Genuinely did not know.
I did have a first by Commissioner Flores. Would anyone like to second to move this to 3%? I'm sorry, without a second, it fails.
Thank you for trying.
Commissioner Powell, did you want to speak?
Madam Mayor, I would understand that the 10% may not be hard and fast, but I would be in favor of allowing staff to perhaps get with the client, the resident, and if 10% is a hardship and they can show that's a hardship, allow staff to negotiate something that would be more in line. I just think that to come up with 3%, in my opinion, on the fly today, I don't know, but it does open up the door for additional residents to come in, and after they've had a reduction of down to 10%, to request that 3%. I am sympathetic to the issue, especially considering that you immediately had the shed torn down. But again, I'm not close enough to the situation and don't know enough about it to make a decision like that today. So I mean, I would make a motion, and if it could be second, I don't know, that staff, this is pushback to staff or request from Sherry if that's something that can be done. I don't know.
Can I make a comment? I'm sorry. The reason why we did it as an add-on is she's trying to close on the 25th, so this is the only date, because normally I wouldn't add on a settlement. We would have brought it to you on April in our normal process. But Mrs. Farron did agree to the settlement via an email on Monday, March 2nd. Robin and maybe Patrick talked to her yesterday, and so this is my first time hearing that she wasn't happy with the 10%. So we feel like we've negotiated with her with the 10% and that we were good to go today. So the 3% is a little bit of a surprise to us as staff. We have never received her closing statements for what she's selling the house. I don't see any other liens on the house, so I can't tell you for sure that it is a hardship or not, you know, so because we just don't have any documentation at this point.
Sure. Do when people settle with you, do they have the option to reach back out
Correct. I mean, we go
and tell you, you know, I'd rather settle for 3 or 5 or 7 or?
So we have people who come back and ask for something less. We've pretty much taken for homesteaded that we're going with 10%. If they wanted to settle for something less, we would have wanted to see some sort of documentation, and sometimes people will send us their closing statement so we can see, what are you selling the house for? What other liens are out? You know, do you have a mortgage? You know, so we can kind of calculate and say, okay, you can't even afford this piece of it based on the sale. But we didn't get any of that. We didn't get any kind of inclination that this would have been a hardship, the 10%. So we feel good with the 10% on our side. And we've been going with 10% with Homestead for several years now, you know, and things.
Thank you, Sherry. Vice Mayor Woodward.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And I agree with Commissioner Powell on this, that you know, we rely on staff to do this and to give us a proper analysis. So if it were an option, I would second what he's requesting, but is the closing date, does that make that not a possibility?
Ma'am,
'Cause I'm uncomfortable approving something like this on the fly as well.
Want to ask her? What is your closing date? If we prolong this, it will go past your closing date.
It will,
So you
yes.
need to settle it today?
I do. And in response to the county, I did ask repeatedly if there would be any other documents that I would need today, anything that I needed to bring with me, any preparation that I needed for this, and I just received a response saying that I would to come today. And so I didn't know if I was to bring a certified check. I didn't know, you know. And honestly, after my first discussion with the county, it seemed as though there was no negotiating the 10%.
I understand.
Yes, but my realtor, who's operated in Palm Beach County for over 25 years, suggested that I just request it.
Thank you. I will entertain a motion for what someone would like to approve on this item. Commissioner Weiss, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to make a motion to approve item 3G3.
I have first by Commissioner Weiss. I have a second by Commissioner Marino. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 6-0. Thank you, ma'am. We are going to move on to the next item pulled, which would be 3G2, page 20.
Commissioner, Mayor, Commissioners, I'd like to amend our motion to exclude Darnell Gardner as an appointee to be reappointed. He disclosed in an email to staff that he is a subcontractor with a contract currently with the county, but it wasn't included on his application. So if we could approve the rest of the item excluding Darnell, we'll bring him back at another meeting when we can clear up his application.
So you want to exclude that person specifically from 3G2?
Yes, please.
Perfect. I need a.
So moved.
I have a motion by Commissioner Woodward to approve 3G2 excluding Darnell Gardner. I need a second. Second by Commissioner Marino. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that the motion carries 6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. We will move on to item 3Z1, I believe. Yes, 3Z1. Page 46. I believe it was Commissioner Powell.
Me.
Or Vice Mayor Woodward. Yes. Someone pulled it. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to pull this. I understand there's a very brief presentation that you could give. This is actually good news that I feel was important for the public to be made aware of. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. For the record, my name is Scott Marting. I had the privilege of being the Director of Risk Management for Palm Beach County. At the table with me, I have Tracy Ellison, Deputy County Administrator, Annie Helfant from the County Attorney's Office, and Michelle Martin, who's the Senior Vice President with Brown & Brown Insurance. Just very quickly, I'm going to run through a very short presentation. We appreciate the opportunity to have to be able to share the good results we have for you. Each year, we meet with our insurance broker, which is Brown & Brown, and talk about strategies as we do our April 1st renewals. It's one of our biggest renewals of the year. We try to focus on our strengths within Palm Beach County as we move forward. This year, we wanted to really capitalize on meeting with our underwriters. We were able to meet with 25 separate underwriters. And the goals that we set were to really just tell our story. It's always interesting when you have a scenario to get in front of underwriters who really just know you as a piece of paper. And for us to be able to tell our story is always important to make sure that we are first and foremost in their minds. Some of the things that we wanted to talk about is our best-in-class risk management program. We don't come in front of the board very often, but we touch about everything that the board does and the county does. So we wanted to make sure they were aware of that. We wanted to work on our long-term relationships. We'll focus on, as we talk about this today, very briefly, we'll talk about our municipal property program. We have a significant amount of insurers on that program, in fact, over 30, so it was important to get in front of them. And also to attract as much capacity. When you have a lot of insurers, you have a lot of competition, it really creates a very solid environment.
Excuse me one second. If I could ask everyone to please be quiet, the noise level is rising. Thank you. Please proceed.
Sorry. So what did we do as far as what do we want to talk about at the underwriter meetings? Just very quickly, I'm going to buzz through a few things. Palm Beach County's tagline is the best of everything. And we thought it was very, very important that our underwriters understood that. So I mentioned we try to meet with them in person. We actually had a field trip here where we had folks come in. We had 17 different underwriters come in from all over the globe to look at Palm Beach County. And some of the things we focused on was our strong leadership, the partnership we have with insurers, the significant investment that the board has in a capital improvement plan, continuous property valuations. We do appraisals on an ongoing basis to make sure the information we supply is accurate. We have very solid claim experience and very few losses into our excess layer. As a matter of fact, we have none for at least the last 16 years. So that really bodes well for us. Our geographic location on the coastline. Storm surge is a huge part of wind events. Off the coast of Palm Beach County, 5 miles out, you're in 600 feet of water. Off the west coast of Florida, if you go 5 miles out, you're in about 30 feet of water. The deeper the water, the less the storm surge. Probably something that's not going to be on everybody's agenda unless we tell them. Our AAA bond rating, and also our comprehensive emergency preparedness plan. I know later on today you guys are going to talk about the emergency operations folks, and just being able to recover quickly and get back up and running really lessens the ability to have significant losses. As we look at our program and we focus on wind, we buy wind based on the 100-year storm probabilities. And I thought it was important to include a slide that just kind of showed you. We buy $160 million worth of wind. We had 155 this year when we did our modeling. So we take everything that comes into all of our appraisals, we put it in a model, and the model tells us, based on a 100-year storm, what they believe after our deductible the probable maximum loss is, and it's just over 159 million. So that's why we buy the coverage we buy. So to the good part, and I'm winding up my presentation very quickly here. Just as this is just an overview of where we are, we've saved over the expiring premium almost $2.2 million. We have a decrease. We've increased our wind limits on the municipal program by $5 million. We've increased our limits on the utilities program by $11.25 million. We've decreased our maximum property wind deductible. At the time we wrote this, it was down to 4.35%. It's down to 4.18% now. Our total insured value, we've done all this while our total insured value went from $3.1 billion to $3.2 billion. On the casualty side, we have a 10% premium decrease. And on the cyber liability side, we have a 10% decrease. And we've also been able to negotiate a 2-year rate guarantee option for our excess workers' comp coverage. So I think it was a very solid renewal. Just risk management has an amazing team. We have an amazing partner in Brown & Brown, and I wanted to kind of leave you with an understanding of the complexities. This last slide is our property insurance program. Brown & Brown does a very good job of getting us in front of all the right people, but also marketing our program to make sure we have significant diversification, so that we can use these markets to compete against one another to drive down the best possible rates. And with that, I'll open it up to any questions you may have and appreciate the opportunity to speak with you. Thank you.
To summarize real quick, how much money are we saving this year versus last year?
About $2.2 million.
That's what we love to hear.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Vice
you.
Mayor Woodward, did you want to say something?
I will. Happy to make the motion. Just to be clear, we are getting more and paying less. Yes?
That is correct.
Okay, good job on that. I'd like to make the motion to approve.
I have a motion by Vice Mayor Woodward. A second by Commissioner Weiss. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Moving on to 4A1.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to receive and file proof of publication.
I have a motion by Commissioner Marino, a second by Commissioner Weiss. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 6-0. Now we're going to move on to 4A1, Office of Financial Management. Welcome back.
Welcome to OFMB Day.
Does anyone need a presentation on 4A1? I will entertain a motion to approve item 4A1, A and B. I have a motion by Commissioner Marino, a second by Vice Mayor Woodward. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 6-0.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners.
Thank you. Moving on to 4B1. Do we need another motion to receive and file this proof of publication separately? I will entertain a motion for the receive and file. I have a motion by Commissioner Marino, a second by Vice Mayor Woodward. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 6-0. Moving on to item 4B1, A, B, C, and D. I will entertain a motion. Oh, we do on this item? If you will please call them forward.
We have Ivan Acevedo. For B1.
Your favorite, Todd Pomtran.
Is it next item?
Yeah,
Are they here to speak?
I believe he mentioned that he was looking at 5E1. 5E1 is the item, Commissioner, that he'd like to speak on.
So we have no cards on this item then?
It says 4B1, but
Okay.
Okay.
There's not a D1.
this is contract. You don't want contract?
He wants to speak on a 5E1, which is also a Pomtran item.
Different Pomtran item.
Yes. On regular.
Does anyone need a presentation on this? Okay, I will entertain a motion to approve item 4B1, A, B, C, and D. I have a motion by Commissioner Marino, a second by Commissioner Weiss. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. We will move on to regular agenda. 5A1, Community Services. Does anyone need a presentation, and do we have any cards? Presentations? Okay, I will entertain a motion to approve 5A1, A and B. I have a motion by Commissioner Weiss, a second by Commissioner Flores. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 6-0. Oh, Commissioner Powell, I apologize.
I believe this is one of the programs that's seeing some significant changes, and I think it might be in our best interest if they did a small presentation,
A brief one?
a brief one, so that people understand exactly what's happening here. Tammy, this is the item that Dr. Messer, we talked about. I think it would be pretty important, at least for the residents who are in the building today and some who may be at home, to understand exactly what's happening.
And Dr. Messer would be the best person to give the presentation on this.
Thank you.
Try it again. There we go.
That's better. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, County Administrator. I'm Dr. Casey Messer. I'm the Program Manager for HIV Elimination Services with our Community Services Department. I appreciate you giving us some time to talk about these major changes in the program. This update is related to Palm Beach County's response to changes in the AIDS Drug Assistance Program, which is a statewide program administered by the Florida Department of Health. The AIDS Drug Assistance Program is funded by a federal Ryan White grant, and it covers access to medications for persons with HIV, low-income persons with HIV throughout the state of Florida. It does so through two pathways or two mechanisms. The first being assisting individuals with direct medications, purchasing medications and providing that medications through contract pharmacies. Secondly, for individuals who are able to get commercial health insurance, to assist individuals with those health insurance premiums and co-payments. Eligibility for the ADAP program requires a person to have an HIV diagnosis, be a resident of Florida, be low income, be uninsured or have no coverage for medications or prescriptions, and not be confined to a hospital, nursing home, or hospice and correctional facility. The ADAP program is a payer of last resort program, meaning this is the last resort for individuals to access this HIV treatment medication. Individuals who are eligible for other access services like Medicaid or Medicare are not eligible for this ADAP program. There were recently some changes that were proposed from the state related to eligibility for this ADAP program, and these changes actually were issued through an emergency rule process at the end of February with an effective date of March 1st. And those eligibility changes are as follows. For income, the eligibility for this program was reduced from 400% of the federal poverty level to 130% of the federal poverty level. For context, for a household of one or a single individual, that amount annually is $20,748. So individuals who make more than that $20,000 amount would be categorically ineligible for this ADAP program based on their income. This program also eliminated health insurance premium assistance completely, so not providing any support for individuals who have access to health insurance and only providing medications purchased directly and dispensed through contract pharmacies. There were also changes to the formulary for this ADAP program, the largest and most significant one being the removal of Biktarvy, which is a single pill, one pill once a day regimen that successfully suppresses the virus and keeps a person undetectable so that they cannot transmit HIV to others. And that medication was prescribed to about 65% of individuals who are on this program. So the elimination of that medication will require individuals who remain on this program to have their medication switched to other options, likely multiple pills, older medication that they would need to take multiple times a day. There was also some restriction of another medication called Descovy, for individuals that have impaired kidney function. And finally, some changes to just administrative components of the program. Municipalities in the state worked for several years to establish a reciprocal eligibility agreement, meaning individuals who lived in any county could access the Ryan White program in their county, and that the eligibility for that program would be recognized reciprocally for the state program, and individuals would not have to go to separate programs to be able to qualify and provide information. That reciprocal eligibility.
Forgive me, to summarize, are we just updating this to come, it says here that we are updating this to come to match the Florida AIDS Drug Assistance Program? Or the proposed changes? We're doing a resolution to do that?
Yes, so the resolution is taking a stand about what the position is of the county for this ADAP program to be reconsidered, for the changes that went into effect from March 1st to be reconsidered by the Department of Health, for additional funding to be allocated from the federal government,
And by
et cetera.
updating our resolution to match these, then we are eligible.
So our resolution is asking the state legislature or the Department of Health to be able to reconsider the changes that they've implemented for this state program.
To reconsider the changes, so we're asking them to change?
Yes.
The state,
Yes.
with this resolution?
Yes. This is a resolution that was brought forward from the HIV Care Council, who saw the impact of these changes. There's about 1,700 individuals with HIV who are going to be impacted by this change here in
Commissioner
Palm Beach
Powell,
County.
you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And the reason I think this is important is because, as Dr. Messer indicated, 1,700 individuals here in Palm Beach County would be currently impacted. I think it's a major change that individuals are able to take Biktarvy, which appears to be a single pill that suppresses the HIV/AIDS virus, makes it undetectable, and prevents people from passing it on to individuals through the means in which they would contact, and it would now, some of those people would end up using multiple pills, which, given discipline and in dire straits, they may or may not take, and then the increase from 400% of the poverty level to 130, down to 130% means it's less available. So from my understanding, Dr. Messer and Ms. Fields, Tammy, or Administrator Fields, would we be not only pushing a resolution, but would we be providing funding or providing a way that individuals in Palm Beach County would still have the option that they would be able to get Biktarvy, and that would be the case? Am I correct?
Yes.
This agenda item does two things. One, it takes a position on the changes that the state is making. We don't know that that's going to be successful because it is a significant decrease. But it also allows us, using our Ryan White dollars, to be able to provide a solution here in Palm Beach County by participating in the 340B program. So, and that would not have any ad valorem impact. It is going to be dealt with through our Ryan White dollars.
Thank you for that. And I think part of that is because of the changes that the state has made, people who were elected to be or to watch over these programs, and I guess this is an agency change, but the result of this is people are going to die. If the long and short of it is, because of these changes, people are going to die. And I think it's important that we, as brutal and as harsh as it is to say, because of changes that have been made at the state level, there are going to be people who will die. And if we sugarcoat it, I mean, we can figure out how to sugarcoat it and say it in a nice way, but those changes, the income reduced from 400% to 130% of the federal poverty level, and if maybe not in Palm Beach County because we'll make these changes, but in other places, people are going to die. And it's just that simple. And I think it's important that we put that on the forefront. And elections have consequences. Today is an election day, by the way. Doesn't mean that everybody who gets elected or doesn't get elected will kill you, but people are going to die. Sorry for saying it that way.
Thank you, Commissioner Pell. You finished?
I am.
Vice Mayor Woodward?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I did ask for numbers for the rest of the country, and I don't know if everyone got a copy of it. I know I managed to get a copy, but just so everyone knows, around the country, it looks like only Puerto Rico, I think, is at 200%, which where this change takes Florida to 130%. But there's also, it was Pennsylvania, Kansas, Delaware, and Rhode Island who are also lowering their numbers, and Kansas being the next lowest at 250, but it only affects 230 individuals in the entire state. And the Florida change it's more than 12,000 statewide, 1,700 just in our county. So I think, don't know where the 130 number came from, but it's extremely low nationally, and hopefully some of that could be changed. But I did just want to reiterate the other discussion that we had, being able to use Ryan White dollars, which would not be, it's not property taxes, it's no money that's coming out of here, but that's money that we get as a county, and we could use that to kind of offset some of what's this change would be occurring, and that's what we're voting on, is to give you the authority to use those dollars in this way.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. With that, I'm in support of what you're attempting to do here.
Thank you. Just a quick reminder, we do have a motion that we've already voted on, so if any changes would like to be made, it has to be reconsidered. Commissioner Weiss and then Commissioner Marino.
Thank you. I just want to thank you guys. I want to thank you, Dr. Messer. I want to thank Dr. Green as well. I mean, you guys reacted very, very quickly to come up with a solution to help the folks in Palm Beach County that would have lost benefits, would have lost coverage. And as we know, AIDS is controllable today. It is not a death sentence if properly medicated. And unfortunately, without the kind of work and the absolute, it was brilliant what you all were able to figure out to do so quickly.
Thank you.
You are going to save these people's lives.
Thank you.
And those that come beyond them. That's because the infection rate will continue to be suppressed for those folks that are carrying the HIV virus. So thank you, and really do appreciate it. This is, when you guys told me how much time you had to figure this out, it was amazing. And so great work, and thank you for trying to take care of the people in Palm Beach County.
Thank you. Thank you.
Commissioner Marino, you're recognized.
Thank you. How will the folks who are going to lose their benefits find out that they have an option with the Ryan White funds?
So we've already begun making notifications to all the clients that are impacted. We know each individual that is currently enrolled in the ADAP program who lost coverage beginning March 1st. So we're notifying them directly through our program to make them aware after today that there is another pathway for them to maintain continuity of care, whether that is maintaining the medication that they've been prescribed or maintaining access to health insurance with premium assistance through our Ryan White program.
And do we have enough in the Ryan White funds to fill the gap?
Through the Ryan White funds directly, we do not. The local impact of the HIV system of care for these changes is anticipated to be around $22.2 million annually. We only receive about $7.6 million directly in Ryan White funds. But our model is going to be able to create opportunities that will generate program income that will allow the program to be self-sufficient. Meaning if we take our dollars and shift our model from paying for direct services, paying directly for medical providers, labs, et cetera, and medications, and instead invest in assisting individuals to enroll in comprehensive health insurance, it allows us to be able to share those costs with the health insurance carrier and also be able to purchase medications at a 340B discount because we're purchasing them with federal funds. And that difference between what we pay for the medications and what gets reimbursed by the health insurance will be cost savings that we reinvest back into the program to make it self-sufficient.
Thank you for the explanation.
Commissioner Flores, you're recognized.
Let's talk a little bit about Ryan White, that program. How you mentioned we receive how much a year?
We get about $7.6 million annually for Ryan White Part A.
And how long is that for?
1 year. It's each year.
No,
Annually.
I mean, how long do we get Ryan White dollars for? Is that a grant?
Yes, yes.
And how long are we expected to receive those funds?
We've been receiving those funds since 1991 when the Ryan White program came out. So it's a long-standing program that's been reauthorized. And
Federal program?
It is a federal program, yep, that's been reauthorized. And we're expected, the budget for this year has also been set. So we're expecting to receive flat level funding for this year.
But could it potentially sunset at some point?
It could, the Ryan White Care Act itself is authorized in legislation, but it could lose its funding from appropriations at the federal level. That would reduce.
So the reason I bring this up is that we're shifting a state responsibility to a county responsibility, and now we have to pick up the tab on a program or dollars that could be used otherwise to help our community. Now we're having to shift with those dollars to account for this. And what do you mean no?
Ryan White dollars are specifically for HIV programs only. So what
Right,
we
but
are
we would have been able to do something else with those dollars had we not had to do this.
Yeah, but we are trying to shift our model that will generate us a program income. Currently, most of our services are contracted out for labs and medication. With this new model, we will be able to do some of this work through the county, and that will generate us 340B income. That income will help us to enroll the folks who will be not in the state program anymore and get them into the insurance, and that will cover their medication.
Got it. Okay. But yeah, I completely agree. This is extremely important because we don't want to have an outbreak, and we want to make sure that these people continue to take care of their health without spreading further, especially in the county. So thank you for stepping up and reshifting that model to make sure that we address the need. So thank you.
We have no more lights, and we've already voted, so thank you so much. Have a great one. Thank you. We are going to move on to item 5B1. Good morning. You're recognized, David. Would you mind, because I know there is a slide just kind of going over the overall view map, skipping to that one. I would love to talk on this since it's my district.
Sure. Good morning, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Board of Commissioner, and County Administrator. I'm David Ricks, County Engineer. With me is Patrick Rudder, Deputy County Administrator, Joanne Keller, Deputy County Engineer, and Liz Herman from the County Attorney's Office. Last summer, the board directed me to look at school zone near Will Lake Middle School and Garcia High School, and also the pedestrian access among those two schools. So on the school zone, There's an existing middle school on Woodlands, but the high school doesn't have one. And we looked at having a separate one for the high school. Didn't really warrant it. However, because of all the kids walk along that same corridor in front of the high school. And so I'm directing my staff to extend the middle school zone from the middle school all the way along Lyons Road or across 47th, along that whole corridor, and that's where a lot of the kids walk back and forth. And so that's a pretty simple. And the school zone time will be dictated to the middle school sign. So that is in process. The next one is the feasibility study looking at the pedestrian crossing on that. And so we looked at basically from the middle school to the high school. And we come up with two options, and just real quickly. One, both options will have a pedestrian bridge across the canal. We've checked with Lakewood Drainage District. They're okay with the concept. But option one would actually take the existing sidewalk, expand it from 6 feet to 10 feet. Option two will shift that sidewalk, especially from the high school, and make it away from the road. And I'll show you the slide real quick. And so here's option one, which basically has the pedestrian bridge and then the sidewalk as you go in front of the high school, going from 6 feet to 10 feet. Option two will shift that sidewalk closer toward the high school, get the sidewalk away from the roadway, and that's where we're at. And so option two is a little more pricier, but from the staff standpoint, it's better safety enhancement, and we will be recommending option two. So our next step is to meet with...
Excuse me, David, real quick.
Yes.
I'd just like to remind everyone, the reason, not the main reason or the only reason, but a big reason this is brought to us is because we had a tragedy occur here with a sidewalk that was right next to the road. We had a student fall into the road and is no longer with us.
That is correct.
So the second option you are presenting is to put it off of the road?
That is correct.
And I feel that's a much better option. Did you have anything to add?
No, that our next step is to meet with the school district staff, to partner with them. Hopefully, we'll share in the costs and the planning on that. And so we got a meeting scheduled on the 26th of March, and I'll give you an update, Mayor, after that meeting.
I would like to be, I'm going to pass the gavel to Vice Mayor Woodward so that I can make the motion to approve this item moving the sidewalk off the road.
We have a first by Mayor Baxter, a second by Commissioner Marino. Any other comments from the board? Commissioner Weiss?
Thank you, and thank you, Mayor, for that motion. As we know, Landon Coggin was just over a year ago. He was killed because he fell off the sidewalk on his bike, and his parents and grandparents came and spoke with us, and they didn't want to see his death in vain, and that something happened to make it safer for the other kids. So I'm delighted that you're able to do this and to, as they say, they had a ribbon cutting a few weeks ago for. They put a plaque up in the middle school, and a lot of his friends were there. And the slogan was "Live like Landon." So, thank you.
No, thank you, and thank you for your support.
Okay, so the motion on the floor by Mayor Baxter is to proceed with option two. All in favor? Any opposed? See that passes 6-0, and I will return the gavel to the mayor.
Thank you. Moving on to agenda item 5C1, but briefly while we're settling in, I would like to thank my board for your support on that one. That one was very tragic, what happened, so thank you. And hopefully going forward, we'll ensure that the safety of kids going to and from school will be much better. Moving on to housing and economic development, does anyone need a presentation? We have a card, if you'd please call them up.
Sean Rowan for the B2B.
Good morning, Madam Mayor, County Commissioners. For the record, my name is Sean Rowan, and I serve as the Vice President of Business Recruitment, Retention, and Expansion at the Business Development Board. Thank you for the opportunity to briefly comment on the opportunity zones being considered today. As you know, opportunity zones represent an important tool for driving private capital investment into areas that can benefit from additional economic activity and redevelopment. At the Business Development Board, we view our role as helping to ensure these zones reach their full potential. Once approved by the state, we will actively market these sites to investors and companies looking for opportunities in Palm Beach County. Our goal will be to highlight the advantages that these locations have and to connect them with projects and support long-term economic growth. At the request of the Florida Secretary of Commerce, we are also pleased to be hosting a meeting on April 15th with state representatives and local stakeholders to further discuss opportunity zones and how we can best position these areas for success. This conversation will help align local and state efforts and ensure we are maximizing the opportunity that these designations can provide. I also want to take a moment to recognize Mary Weimer, Carlos Serrano, and Jonathan Brown for the extensive work that they have done on this effort. They have met with multiple community groups, business groups, and municipalities to help identify the most appropriate zones and ensure that the recommendations reflect thoughtful input. In addition, the BDB convened a group of land planners and land use experts, which brought valuable technical expertise and perspective to the discussion. That collaboration helped strengthen the recommendations and ensure that the proposed zones are well positioned for future development. At the end of the day, we simply look forward to these zones being approved by the state so we can begin attracting capital investment and new opportunities to the areas of our county that stand to benefit the most. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sean. Commissioner Flores, you're recognized.
Yeah, I just want to, I don't personally need a presentation on this. I thought our staff has dedicated ample time to this. I met with them a few times, and I'm excited about this. However, what I wanted to bring up to the board, that while we are proposing these 20 tracks from our governor, ultimately, he has the final say. So it behooves us and our legislative team to continue to work with them to make sure that he keeps these 20 so that we're able to move this forward. I believe in the past, we have been maybe taking some of our opportunity zones and given somewhere else in the state. So it's up to us here to lobby for these at the state, and just want to remind our administration, our legislative affairs team, to continue to work with our governor's office to make sure that we get these approved. So with that being said, I would like to make the motion to approve.
I have a motion by Commissioner Flores. Do I have a second? I have 2 seconds, so we'll give it to Commissioner Powell to second 5C1A and B. And I have comments by Vice Mayor Woodward.
If we could, we don't need a full presentation, but if you could just go through the maps for each district to show, for the benefit of those watching, where the opportunity zones are, and if you could briefly also just discuss the changes that were made from the last time, what qualified as an opportunity zone to what qualified this time, and the process that we have to actually submit to the state to try to get our 25% included. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, Vice Mayor, Mayor, and Commissioners. So there are, in Eastern Palm Beach County, there are 71 eligible Opportunity Zone tracks. We're recommending 16 of those to the governor. In Western Palm Beach County, there are 7 eligible tracks, and we're recommending 4. That gives us our 20 tracks out of our 25% to recommend to the governor. There were a few tracks that were available in OZ1 that is also being recommended for Opportunity Zones 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So about 9 of the tracks that we are recommending were previously in Opportunity Zone 1. The major difference now is staff working with BDB and our other partners and our municipalities to really get the word out. A couple of things that have changed in this particular one versus Opportunity Zone 1 was we're looking at a poverty rate of 20%, and then the median family income, the areas that are targeted are now 70% and below AMI, whereas in Opportunity Zone 1, it was FMI. It was a little bit, it was higher. So the tracks that qualified had a higher FMI to make. And so those are really the major changes, other than the program now being more permanent, whereas before it was not permanent. Now that President Trump is back in office, he's made this permanent part of the process. Good. Go ahead.
Anything else, Vice Mayor Woodward?
Yeah, if you could just explain what the state is also requiring, just as far as, I guess, areas that are already zoned to where they need to be zoned, what the census tracks, because it meets the numbers for income and the poverty rates, it's also about what the property is zoned for. Am I correct on that?
Yes, you're correct. My name is Mary Weimer, and good morning, everybody. Just to answer your prior question, what is the process right now? Once we take this item to the board, and once you guys approve it, we have to submit to the state by April 1st with our recommendations. And a difference that this time around is the state has a form attached to their Department of Commerce website that requires way more information regarding this selection of opportunity zones than what was prior, for the reason that they're looking for more strategic tracks. Going back to your question, so just because it falls within 7% or under or 20% and over poverty doesn't really necessarily makes it a desirable track for investors to go. It needs to have the zoning, needs to have infrastructure, needs to have jobs. A lot of components need to be within that track for investors to desire to invest in those tracks. And once this board approves the 20 recommended tracks, we are going to go back to municipalities that did recommend these tracks and go over the form one by one to make sure that everything that is requested by the governor we comply with, and we do not have any empty spaces in this form for the governor to make his own selection. So we want him to pick what we choose for, since we know the area better.
Okay, yeah, thank you for that. If I could just, because our municipal partners are definitely will play a role in lobbying and getting all of the forms filled out completely, so that we have the best chance for all these tracks to make it. Thank you for your work.
Thank you.
Clerk, do you have the maker and the second? Any more comments? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Please see that motion carries 6-0. Thank you so much. Thank you, staff. Internal Auditor, item 5D1.
Thank you, Carlos.
I'd like to also thank the Audit Committee for being here today. And what do we owe the pleasure, Mr. Faso? Good morning.
Good morning to the Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners. David Zamora, County Internal Auditor. Today on the agenda, we have the Internal Audit Committee for Palm Beach County. We'd like to give a presentation regarding their roles, responsibilities, and activities. The Internal Audit Committee is an advisory board established by ordinance to help assist the board in overseeing the county's internal audit function. And so at this time, I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Gilbert, who is the chair of the Internal Audit Committee, to give a presentation. Thank
Morning,
you.
Mr. Gilbert. If we could keep it brief, we really appreciate that.
I will. Good morning, Madam Mayor and other commissioners. For the record, my name's John Gilbert. I'm in the chair of the Internal Audit Committee, and we have our...
Is his mic on? Mr. Zamora?
We're good now.
We're good? Okay. We have Donna Wisniewski and...
Excuse, hold on one second. Is that better? Could you pull the mic closer to, just so we can hear you?
Is that better?
That's much.
Okay,
Thank you
sorry.
so much.
Donna Wisniewski and Sonny Macon and Sal Fazzo. And we also have our alternate, Samuel Wilcox. Basically, the Internal Audit Committee is set up to review oversight of the internal audit function on behalf of the board. And what we basically ensure at a high level is independence of the audit function, effectiveness, and is it aligned with the county's risks and priorities. This meeting was brought about today by communications between the internal auditor and the commissioners. And at a high level, our review of the internal audit function is oversight of the audit function, protection of auditor independence, auditor reporting and follow-up, communication and coordination with the oversight functions, and the committee's own meeting and reporting practices. In March of 2025, we provided a written summary of our activities to the board, and on an ongoing basis, we intend on continuing to provide written summaries of our activities, et cetera, and we appreciate the opportunity to have this presentation and continue the open communication with the board.
Thank you so much. Does anyone have any questions? Vice Mayor Woodward, you're recognized.
Was there a presentation on the current activities of the audit board and which departments you're looking at right now, or?
No, I think the purpose of today was to introduce the audit committee members to the board. I'm not sure that's happened in the past, but we had the pleasure of Mayor Baxter visiting one of our meetings, and anytime that we have an appointment or a reappointment, whether it's a member or an alternate, the board does give approval, and I try to give everybody an update of who we are. So today's purpose was just to give a presentation of what are the responsibilities, what's the internal audit committee's role here. In the future, though, I suppose this may be a good opportunity to help us with what are the expectations of the board and what would you like to see and how often. As Mr. Gilbert said, we develop a written correspondence that we distribute. This is the first time that the board's ever met in person, so the requirement by ordinance is as requested to make a presentation to the board, or as needed if there's something major that we need to communicate from the committee to the board. But serving on behalf of the board and its oversight responsibility, one we just wanted to introduce today, but maybe get some feedback on what expectations or how often or in what format the board's happy with.
Commissioner Weiss, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, first off, thank you all for being here, and thank you for your invaluable service that you offer Palm Beach County and as members of this board. I appreciate the work you all do. We get a quarterly report. I can share with you, it's sometimes can be very eye-opening, some of the things that you all have gone over in your meeting. So appreciate what you're doing on behalf of both the taxpayers, but also in looking at efficiencies in our operations as well. So I know you all are unsung heroes sitting back there going over this, but to let you know that it does matter, and I know our board does review that, and our auditor comes and visits us and ensures that we're brought up to date, but it's excellent work that you all are doing and the oversight you're helping to provide. So thank you for your service to the county.
Commissioner Flores, you're recognized.
Yeah, I just want to say thank to all of you. I know you guys are volunteers and you're stepping up to serve our county. This is a partnership between the work that you're doing in our administration and in our attorney's office too. And your feedback helps us to be able to bring more efficiencies and better government to our residents. So what you do is extremely important. And I hope that you guys continue to collaborate with our administration. I feel that our new administrator has accepted the challenge to make our government more efficient and to make the improvements that we need. And so that's a good partnership for you guys with the administration. And if there's ever anything that rises to our level, by all means, this is the right place to have these conversations. I'm not a big fan of airing dirty laundry, but if it has to, we have to make sure that we address those issues. But I want to thank you for your commitment and your dedication to our residents, and it's greatly appreciated. So thank you.
Vice Mayor Woodward, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I think if anyone would like to speak to it, speaking in the general public, people here, we have an auditor, we have an inspector general, there's this thing called DOJ. And if you could kind of speak to your specific roles in this, because it's not so much like a financial audit as much as it is compliance and efficiencies in our operations. And which serves a very big purpose for us, but just to kind of help the general public understand the role of internal auditor versus what some of the other stuff that's making the news right now.
Yeah, I would say our role specifically is to review what the internal audit does. So we get those audit reports first and we review them. We make sure that they are succinct, clarity's there, and that it aligns with what the county's risks and priorities are.
And you have to follow like a yellow book or something, like
Yes,
there's
the yellow
a
book.
government
Yeah.
auditing, okay.
It's more of a process audit than a
Right.
financial audit.
Did anyone else wish to speak to that, just to help, the general public who may be listening understand what these roles are?
I'm Sal Faso, and I'd like to say I'm the junior member of the committee. Okay. So I'm still in the learning process in that respect. But my observation so far, there's nobody bashful on this committee. There's complete transparency. We have arguments that are productive arguments in terms of trying to secure the facts behind some issues and so forth. So I can assure you that if there's something that you need to be brought attention to, it will be done.
Okay. Well, thank you. And just for, did you, go ahead.
Yeah, I would. This might put it together a little bit. For the record, Donna Wisniewski. The Internal Audit Committee is an advisory board established by ordinance, and consequently to provide independent oversight of the county's internal audit function on behalf of the board. So the committee does not manage county operations or conduct any audits per se. We are totally oversight from the relationship as to all the good work that the internal audit staff and organization does. It is more of a, in the ordinance is identified the steps and opportunities that, or responsibilities that we have over and in conjunction with the internal auditor. And the report that we did and submitted to you March 2005 identifies all of the ideas and the sections of those ordinances that we went through to identify what our responsibility is and did we in fact fulfill our responsibility. And we found that we did of course make some adjustments as well, and also we addressed priorities that we have during our meetings.
Thank you. If I could, I would just like to state the importance of this department for us. I mean, we as this board are the policy makers, but if we put policies into place and they're not followed, or they turn out to be maybe unintended consequences to our policies, and we need to make adjustments because they prove to be inefficient or too cumbersome to the business of the county. These are the types of information I for one very much appreciate you looking into. And we discussed different departments. Some departments have a lot of potential for work for you to do, and others maybe not so much. But any of this work is very helpful to us, and so any of the work that you do with our auditor, it's very much appreciated, and we do look at it, and we need it. It's a continuing effort because we're making decisions all the time, and only time will really tell if they're good or if they need to be adjusted, and that's a big part of what your job is. So thank you.
Commissioner Marino, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you all for being here today. I know that one of the requirements of our ordinances for our committees is that we get a report. And oftentimes the report is just submitted, it's receive and file, but it's very nice of you all to come and show your faces so we can actually put the names to the faces. And I look forward to seeing you again. It was because of the Internal Auditor's Office that we were actually noticed about another division that wasn't bringing reports to us. So your job and his job are very important to us to make sure that we maintain continuity and transparency throughout the county. So I do appreciate you being here, and I look forward to you coming again in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. I will entertain a motion to receive and file. I have a motion by Commissioner Marino, a second by Commissioner Weiss. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Please see that motion carries 6-0. Moving on to PalmTran. I know Todd has to be here somewhere. We will take the card first while you're getting seated. Mr. Ivan?
Ivan Acevedo. I know him as Joey, but he put Ivan. Joey Acevedo.
Good morning. Good morning, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the board, and County Administrator. My name is Joey Acevedo. Are you ready for me? My name is Joey Acevedo, and I'm the President and Business Agent of Amalgamated Transit Union, Local HCU 1577. And on behalf of our members, we would like to thank you for your support in approving this contract. This agreement represents the hard work and dedication of the men and women who serve our community every day by keeping transit system safely and reliable. We appreciate the board's support and recognizing the important roles that the members play in providing transportation efficiently, safely, and courteously for our community. Once again, I thank you again for your leadership, supporting the hardworking transit workers who help our community move, and thank you to the PalmTran management team for working with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Does anyone need a presentation? I guess Vice Mayor Woodward would like another presentation. Okay. If you could please keep it brief.
Can. Thank you, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, and Administrator Abruzzo. Before you is the item to ratify the labor management agreement between PalmTran and the Amalgamated Transit Union. I want to thank Mr. Maldonado for his work in helping to usher this through. Particularly want to thank the administrator at the end of this negotiation. You know, he came in and helped us land this within the confines of some of our budgeting that we worked on. Thank you, Lynn, as well, for the work that you and Betty did, and Masimba for his guidance from the county attorney's office. We just have a very brief presentation that we'll work through. And on the PowerPoint on the board, the first page, and just to kind of share a few of the articles that we worked through here. Sorry, let me get this clicker right here. Okay. advance that. So just one thing on sick and leave pay. One thing that we did do is we negotiated out of existing sick days that the union currently has to give them some flexibility to use up to 2 of those every year for employee wellness. We felt it was very important for some of the well-being of our employees to give them some of that flexibility in their time to make sure that they were personally well as they were coming in to work for our community. We also worked on the maintenance side and trying to get some of our maintenance tech up to speed a little bit more quickly to get them to work. So we're excited to work with the union on that particular piece of the article. Article 41 on the pension plan, this is the one issue that kind of we kept unresolved bringing this back to you. So this letter of understanding that we have is one related to a deferred retirement option or drop program. POMTRAN, as many of you know, is not on, thank you. And we ask for your favorable support. No. So as you know, the drop program is different in the state FRS where they have one. Locally, we do not have one. So for many years, we've been negotiating with the union. What we've done in this letter of understanding is we've agreed to allow for an actuarial study to move forward, paid for by the pension board. And upon completion of that actuarial study, we'll review that and reopen Article 41 to determine whether there's a cost-benefit analysis that warrants the inclusion of a pension plan in this. And we expect that to come later this year or early next year as it moves through the process. Tools are getting extremely expensive, particularly some of the large tools that we use. So we were able to increase a little bit for some of our maintenance technicians. They are given an annual tool allowance that they use in our maintenance bays. Just wanted to share with you our steps that we have in our current agreement. So what you're looking at is the current rate that was negotiated 3 years ago. $17.25 was the starting wage and still is at this moment, and then the top rate of $27.62. We maintained those steps as you see here in the agreement that's before you today, but we were able to increase that starting wage to $20 an hour. We think that is going to make us much more competitive in terms of attracting some of our new employees to POMTRAN. I know that Commissioner Powell had asked us just on some comparisons about what that looks like to other properties, so just wanted to share with you a little bit of that information. Pinellas County, the starting pay rate is $18. Lynx is around $23. Miami-Dade, $21. Jacksonville, $21.75. Hillsborough, $21.84. And Broward County, $22.39. One of the things that some of those counties have a little more flexibility than we do is they have a dedicated funding source in a transportation surtax that help them in transit operation and allows them to be a little more flexible on this end. But we felt like we needed to get this number to $20. That'll help us fill some of the vacancies that we have and hopefully cut back on some of the overtime that we pay as we work on a daily basis. On the top rate, you'll see on the bottom, $30.20 will be the new top rate for this year, going up to $31.11 and $32.30 in the third year. In comparison, Miami-Dade Transit pays about $35 on their top rate, Broward's about $34, and most others range between $30 and $31 throughout the state. So we're kind of close to a lot of our similar size agencies. We're a little bit lower than those that have a dedicated funding source that they work off of in that perspective. And then on the maintenance side, our mechanics, electronic techs, storekeepers, we don't have a step there, but we have a flat rate that we pay them. And so we're proposing under this increases of 3.5% in FY26, 2% in 27, and 2% in FY28. We think that we're pretty much in line with market on some of these wages and believe that we negotiated what we thought was a very fair agreement with our partners in the union. and we appreciate their willingness to work with us on a number of these items. And we had a few other smaller issues in some of our other articles, but a lot of that were just cleanup issues to align to some of our practices on the management side. So, Madam Mayor, that is our presentation on the LMA that is before you, and we're available for any questions that you might have.
Vice Mayor Woodward, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. If you could go back to the slide on the steps. I was just, could you explain how we get to very low increases, and then in the last year, it's a $10 an hour increase?
Yeah, so what we've done, and typically, we've had some steps that have maybe had a little less compression on the front end than this has, but primarily, when you're negotiating at the table, a lot of emphasis is on top rate. About half of our operators that we have in Palm Beach County are at that step 8 and top rate. So a lot of members are very keyed into that top rate, and that's the rate that people begin to accumulate as they go forward. We have tried to work within the confines of those steps to bring that up a little bit more, but I think with bringing up that minimum wage from $17.25 to $20 took a lot of funding that we had to work with to get to what we thought was going to be the most reasonable starting wage that we could chip away at some of those vacancies that we had, because ultimately by having a full complement, and we were about maybe 30 or so operators that we work at in terms of vacancies on the average from week to week. So we think that's going to help us close that gap as best as we can to hopefully have more new starts in there and then work with them to bring that up. One of the things that we talked to ATU about with this proposal was that our priority for the next round of negotiations on this has to be within step 1 and step 8 to give some more incentive, maybe when somebody gets to a year 3, to get them over to that 4 or 5, that there's something a little bit bigger to look forward to and work towards. And we hope to do that, and that will be our goal and our strategy as we reopen this up after the 2 years of the beginning of this contract, when we reopen back again and start negotiating on these wages in the future.
Do we know how the compression of these steps compare to our peer counties?
We have some data that's available on that. I don't have a lot of data with us right now on that step comparison, but I will tell you that by and large, I don't think it's too different than what some of our partners have. Ivan?
Just because my one concern is if we have at least half of these that are already at the top end of it, and where there is attrition, people are retiring, are we building the next generation of these, and are we keeping them? Are we hiring them and then they're going elsewhere? Are we really building them up? And is some of that because they're getting a 25 cents or an hour raise, or are they going somewhere else where they might get $2? I don't know what the comparison is, but I know that we do have a very high attrition for new starts versus the ones once they get to the top end, they're happy and they stay. But they're not going to be here forever. They retire. So are we building our backlog?
Correct. And that is a valid concern, Vice Mayor, that every single transit system faces. I've worked on multiple transit systems, and you typically see the same type of negotiation. Obviously, seniority counts in every unionized environment. So it's very hard to get to that even spread where everyone gets about the same percentages throughout the year as you're trying to negotiate. And a lot of it is because typically you bring somebody on board and they typically last a certain period of time, they move on to another transit system. So you're constantly out recruiting, but once you get them there by a certain number of years, you more likely will be keeping that operator. But truthfully, most transit systems that I know, especially in Florida, have a similar scenario. Some have more steps, some less steps, actually. So I think we negotiated a very good contract that was negotiated in good faith. And I would say that hopefully by the next year that we go into negotiation, we can close the gap and bring that bottom start higher and then every subsequent step higher as best as we can.
Okay, and just for the next negotiation, overtime is a concern that I have. And I know there's going to have to be conversations with legal and some of this other on how, overtime is done. Right now, I believe it's up to 72 hours a week, our drivers. And it's more of a safety concern that I have, that we have potentially very tired drivers. And, this is for future. This is on my radar that we're going to need to talk about this because it's more of a public safety issue, the way that I look at that. And then also, I don't believe this is part of the union negotiation, but the CDLs that we pay for training, we do not require them to stay. Is that correct? Like we train them, help pay for them to get their CDL, and then they can immediately leave with that license.
So, Vice Mayor, one thing that this would allow us by bringing that starting wages higher than the $17.25, what we started is we will be able to hire a lot more operators that have their CDL, so it shortened the training span, but also helps you with the recruitment, which is a challenge. And you're so correct. The Florida 1490 guidelines allows an operator to work up to 12 hours per day, no more than 72 hours per week. They have to have an 8-hour break between the first day and the second day and so on. And if they work 72 hours a week, then they have to have a 24-hour gap before they do the next work. But one of the things that we're looking as we are going back and reopening that article on the drop program, we would definitely have that conversation with the union because we have to offset costs of one way or another. So in order for us to implement a drop program, we will have to see an equal amount of offsetting financials. So this will be a great opportunity to talk with the union. I'm sure they're willing to work with us and seeing how we can establish some type of rotationary process to help us get to that level where you will feel comfortable having safety being number one.
Okay, and I would like for the CDL discussion to come back, because that's not a union negotiation part, right? That's a policy decision.
On the CDL component you're talking about? Yeah, that is a policy consideration. And Madam Mayor, we, over the last 3 years, for example, we have trained just a little over 100 new operators that we have actually put through our CDL training. We have retained about half of those that have stayed with us. But from attrition perspective, I mean, you do see a number of folks that train with us, whether we do the CDL or not, and move on to some other things that might not be the right profession for them. But we're actually working on a policy internally that we can bring back and do internally that will allow us to tie that to some level of service similar to what we do with our, education that we have across the board.
All right, thank you.
So yeah, thank you for bringing that up.
Commissioner Flores, you're recognized.
Yeah, I just want to talk to staff real quick, say thank you for doing this. I know this has been in the works for quite a bit. Also want to recognize our union and our union folks that are constant professionals, do the work that's required, and I think sometimes they're unsung heroes that are making sure that our people that aren't mobile and can't mobilize are able to get to work. So it helps a lot of our community. I'm also happy that we're able to bring that starting salary to $20 because when you look across the transportation world, we were one of the lowest paying, and we're talking about CDL drivers. These are heavy equipment that these individuals are driving. They're probably usually the largest vehicle on the road. And the reason, why would you get paid $17 an hour when you could be driving a little Amazon truck and getting paid over $22 an hour? Yeah. So it's when you're underpaying your workforce, there is going to be people leaving because there's different opportunities. So I'm glad that we're closing that gap. I think that will also help with our overtime issue if we can get a full workforce, that should reduce that component of that. So I'm happy that we're here, and I look forward to see what the next round brings. Thank you so much.
Would you make a motion, please?
I'll make the motion to approve.
I have a motion by Commissioner Flores, a second by Vice Mayor Woodward. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 6-0 to approve 5E1.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and Commissioners. We appreciate you very much.
Thank you. Moving on to County Attorney. We are going to, we need to come back at 1 p.m. for this item.
Sarah?
Oh, Commissioner Marino.
Thank you, Mayor. I would actually like to postpone this item. I think we need the full weight of the board to decide this. We're going to have a closed session next week. I propose that we do this before we have the closed session next week, when we'll have all 7 members of the board.
I don't think. Does anybody else want to postpone this item? Because that would be a motion to postpone this item. Do we have a second to postpone this item? David?
This item is actually brought by the county attorney's office, because we have an issue that needs to be resolved. And we are on the posture of the case now makes it urgent. So
it needs to be heard today?
I think so.
Okay, we will do that at 1 p.m. Moving on to 5G2, County Administration. Administrator Abruzzo.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Board, this is the creation of the Office of Cost Control and Compliance. This is one of my commitments to the board, to have oversight of costs. I've worked with all of you in discussing this item. What the premise of it will be, we will actually look deep into our vendors' contracts, as well as when we are given prices for specific items. With that, this will also be the transfer of funds. I believe the ROI on this will be extraordinary if it works in the proper way, and that is the item, Madam Mayor.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to approve 5G2 A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and I. I have a motion by Commissioner Weiss, a second by Commissioner Powell, and I have a question by Vice Mayor Woodward.
Thank you. Is this also the change for emergency management in here, in this? Could you just briefly touch on why we're needing to do that also?
Madam Mayor.
You're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. If I could have the Deputy Administrator and...
Are we talking about Mr. Nadler?
Yes.
We skipped 3D1.
Because we're going to do that at 1 p.m.
Oh, were you planning to go through each of them? Okay. We just already had the motion on the floor. I wanted to make sure this got covered.
Mayor?
Good morning, Mayor.
Mayor, may I be recognized, please?
Yes.
For the record, can we please clarify what item we're on, 5G1 or 5G2?
We're on 5G2. 5G1 will be taken at 1 p.m. today.
Okay, thank you.
No, that's next week.
Or excuse me, next week. You're correct. Let's back up. We are going to take a vote, or I will entertain a motion, so we are in proper order of doing 5G1 today. Would anyone like to move that?
Do we need to read out what it is? That we're recommending a private meeting to discuss security plans relevant to the safety of the Board of County Commissioners on March 4th, 2026 at 1 p.m.
Are you making the motion?
Making
and
the
I have a
motion.
second by Commissioner Weiss. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that the motion carries 6-0 for 5G1.
5G1.
Now we are moving on to 5G2.
Good morning, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. My name is Tom Nadler. I'm the Deputy County Administrator. When we spent some time in Tallahassee, we were recommended by
Kevin Guthrie, the Secretary of the UC, to create a division of VOC by itself due to the roll-up of the way it rolls up to the county. So when an incident occurs, they usually take over and direct the county of how to handle under the incident commander, which will be our administrator, Abruzzo. So with that being said, we got a letter from the state recommending to do that, and also you were copied on a letter yesterday from Congressman Moskowitz to do the same. So we moved it forward as a recommendation for the board to make an Office of Emergency Services that will be reporting to me.
I thank you for that. And I remember being there with Kevin Guthrie at the Emergency Operations Center when we were going over everything, and he highly recommended that we do this. So thank you.
Thank you.
We have a motion and a second. Well, we could probably do it again. 5G2. A motion to. I have a motion by Commissioner Marino, a second by Vice Mayor Woodward. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 6-0.
Recess.
We have item 6A1. Do we want to take that prior to recessing? So we will recess as the Board of County Commissioners and reconvene as the Environmental Control Board. Okay, so moving on, 6A1.
Mayor, I'll make the motion that we approve the appointment of Terrence Bailey.
I have a motion by Commissioner Marino and a second by Commissioner Flores. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 6-0. We will recess as the Environmental Control Board, and now we are again convening as a Board of County Commissioners. Moving on to item 7A1. Commissioner Flores, Commissioner Weiss was first. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I'm nominating Karen Lithgow, the Community Action Advisory Board. This is somebody who needs to be in the public sector. She's the mayor of the town of Lantana. Unfortunately, her duties called her away today. She couldn't be with us, but she did want to send her regards and let the board know that she is very interested in and willing to serve on this board.
Thank you, Commissioner Weiss. Commissioner Flores, you're recognized.
Yes, I'm also nominating Jezebel Masonette to this particular board. Unfortunately, she's away on travel when she was notified that this board was hearing this item. Today, she had already made those plans about 60 days in advance. So with that being said, I would like to make a motion to approve Jezebel and Masonette and Karen Lithgow, which I spoke to Karen yesterday too, and she excused herself, someone who I also know and respect. Thank you.
Clerk, we're going to do a roll call vote of, we have three nominees, actually, one by Commissioner Sachs that is not here, Joshua Glassman, and Karen Lithgow, and Jezebel Masonette. So we will go down the, I'll have you do a roll call for the vote. Let's all just vote for one, and if we need to, then we'll take.
There's 2 seats.
Oh, there's 2 seats, yes, so we'll all vote for 2.
Okay. Commissioner Flores?
Jezebel and Karen. Jezebel Masonette and Karen Lithgow.
Commissioner Marino?
Jezebel Masonette and Joshua Glassman.
Commissioner Powell?
Karen Lithgow and Jezebel Masonette.
Commissioner Sachs. Commissioner Weiss?
Jezebel Masonette and Karen Lithgow.
Vice Mayor Woodward.
Jezebel Masonette and Karen Lithgow.
And Mayor Baxter.
Jezebel Masonette and Karen Lithgow.
Isabel Massonet and Karen Lithgow are the 2 members selected.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Do we have any district appointments? Nice. Do we have any board direction? Commissioner Weiss, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. And if you indulge me and allow me to share with you, we had a longtime resident of one of our neighborhoods in District 2. It's called the Old Trail neighborhood. Her name was Eileen Long. She's lived in the neighborhood since the 1940s. And so she's seen a lot of changes over the years. But she was a strong voice for the community. And I should say she passed away last May at the age of 88. But she was responsible for a lot of the improvements that we saw in the neighborhood. She attended monthly county meetings. She held neighborhood meetings in her home. And she helped develop what is now called Old Trail Park. It's a small neighborhood park. And it's used by the families in the neighborhood, and it's considered a gem. She worked to write grants for their neighborhood, and that resulted in them getting streetlights for safety and reducing accidents. She also put together an annual cleanup and barbecue, and so she was just a source of information and did just a lot. This is a CCRT neighborhood, so for those that don't know, that's one of our low-income communities, and so she just did a lot of work. So with that, I'd like to ask for the board to support me in renaming Old Trail Park as the Eileen Long Old Trail Park.
I have a motion to rename the park. Do I have a second? I have a second by Vice Mayor Woodward. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that the motion carries 6-0. Okay. Staff comments? Administrator? Attorney? Okay. We will go left to right with commissioner comments. Commissioner Weiss.
Thank you, Mayor. I need to request 3 off-site proclamations. One, Howard Weiss, 50 years of service to Palm Beach County. Number 2, 20th anniversary of Wellness Promotion Task Force at the Palm Beach County School District. And number 3, declaring April 12th through 18th, 2026 as National Telecommunicators Week.
I have a motion by Commissioner Weiss, a second by Commissioner Flores. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 6-0.
Thank you. And then lastly, just two brief comments. One is North Lake Boulevard between Beeline and Ibis that has been planned to be expanded over the years. It's not on the 5-year plan. Would love to see it on there, or not love it. It should be on there with everything that's being developed out there. So I want to make sure that it doesn't fall off anybody's radar.
Are you making the motion to add it to the 5-year road program?
I'd like to hear back from staff on that. So that's why I'm making the comment. Because they may have a plan to put it on there. I've heard that they do. So let's see that it happens. I know it impacts 3 districts. So, and then, let's see. And also is the red light cameras in the school zones. So we've been waiting for that to come back, that ordinance. So I'd like to see where that is.
I mean, you gave direction for staff to work on that, right? So we're good? I don't see David, or I'd have him come up here. Is David here? Rix? Or Pat?
Cameras?
Red light cameras.
Red light camera.
Not red light, school zone.
School zone, sorry.
Yeah.
We all cross over on the terminology. Finalizing the ordinance hoping to have it for you, permission to advertise in April. We're in the home stretch. There's just so many details. We're in the home stretch of it. Know the importance of it. We're looking at April.
You have any comment on North Lake?
North Lake, the board funded study money for the expansion to, I believe it's 8 lanes in that area last year in the budget. That is forthcoming. Then once we have the study and the information complete, be moving forward with the construction of the expansion.
We know it needs to be done. We have the right-of-way.
Well, there's actually still, sorry, Commissioner Weiss, there is still a section there that I fought to try to get added that they needed to go to a complete 8 lanes.
Well, this.
Enough right of way. It absolutely needs it, and I'm in favor of it. I'm just saying this is one of those items that I don't know if you need a vote or a direction, or what do you need from the board to get that done?
We do have money budgeted. The board made the direction. It's in the capital improvement plan for the first piece of it. It's not construction money, but the first step in the process is underway for widening it in that area, yes. We're going to have a number of concerns and pieces as we move forward on the design. We'll work through
Excuse me,
that.
Pat. Again, back to what I was saying. Right of way. Do we have enough right of way for a full 8 lanes all the way through?
All the way through, no. This specific segment we're talking about from Ibis to State to Beeline Highway, yes, the right-of-way exists.
But there was a certain area in there that did not have enough right of way to get to 8 lanes.
There was a segment west of State Road 7 moving back towards Arden that did not, Avenir, that did not have full acquisition. We were before the board a couple years ago on amending the TIM to expand it, and the board did not take up that, did not proceed in amending the TIM.
Could we bring that item back before the board?
The board direction, we could prepare it and bring it back for you to amend the TIM.
Please do. Thank you. Anything else, Commissioner? Thank you. All right. Commissioner Marino, you're
I'm
recognized.
just happy to support the 8 laning from State Road 7 to Beeline. This is something that I've asked for since Taya walked in the door. There is plenty of right-of-way, and at a minimum, we need 6 lanes all the way through. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on. Commissioner Flores, comments?
Yeah, on behalf of Commissioner Sacks, I'm requesting an offsite proclamation declaring March 4th, 2026 as Il Circolo Day, which means celebrating Italian culture, arts, and language.
I have a motion. Second. I have a second by Commissioner Weiss. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 6-0.
My next item is e-bikes and scooters. I was driving the other day and I had a gang of 4 kids, I think they were from middle school, riding on an e-bike on a sidewalk going faster than my vehicle was going. Went from sidewalk to road, right back to the sidewalk. I thought I was going to clip one of them, but we have to do something about that. All 4 kids did not have helmets or anything. So I would like to, without opposition, give direction to staff to start looking into providing safety measures for e-bikes and scooters.
Okay.
All right, and then the last thing I want to remind everybody, today is Municipal Election Day. Please go out and vote. Make your voice be heard. In my district, I have Green Acres, Lake Worth, and West Palm all have elections, so go let your voice be heard. Thank you.
Commissioner Powell?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. To echo Commissioner Flores, yes, today is Election Day. Of course, municipal elections are today, so want to make sure people do get out and vote. I also would like to request an off-site approval for a proclamation celebrating the opening of the Riviera Beach Recovery Community Hub on March 31st.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? Second by Commissioner Marino. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 6-0.
And permission to approach the well for a special presentation, really quickly. This won't take long. We, in honor of tradition, we like to do a lot of presentations for people who are leaving. So I would like to present a flag to Todd Von Laren. Of course, this flag was presented by Congressman Jared Moskowitz. Of course, Todd, if I could have you please come up here. This flag was originally presented in February to Todd Von Laren by Congressman Moskowitz in Washington, D.C., while attending the National Association of Counties. Of course, there should be a photo of Todd and Congressman Moskowitz on the screen. Of course, Congressman Moskowitz and I go way back to our time in the Florida House of Representatives back in 2012. Our time with Todd goes back much further than that. This flag, of course, was flown over the United States Capitol on Monday, February 2nd, 2026, in honor of Todd Von Laren's 30 years of outstanding service and dedication to the residents of Palm Beach County. This prestigious symbol is a symbol of national pride, honor, and remembrance, and presented to Mr. Todd Von Laren on today, March 10th, 2026, here in Palm Beach County. Thank you to Congressman Moskowitz, and thank you to you, Todd, for your 30 years of service to Palm Beach County.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate Congressman Moskowitz and his thoughtfulness in this. It is quite an honor to have this. They usually only do this for people who are dead. So I felt really excited to have had that opportunity and to still be breathing. But I couldn't thank him. And he told me that when he gave this to me. So I couldn't thank him more for it. I will cherish this. It is an incredible symbol of a lot of decorated people who served this country well, to have this honor. So thank you, Congressman Moskowitz. I appreciate it. Thank you. I did not expect this to happen here, but I
Or to be
appreciate
alive.
this. Or to be alive. But I appreciate this very much, and it's incredibly humbling. So thank you.
Thank you, Todd. Commissioner Marino, you're recognized.
Commissioner Powell, you all done? I would like to request 2 off-site proclamations, please. One would be requesting a proclamation declaring March as Autoimmune Awareness Month to be presented on Tuesday, March 24th. And the other is an off-site proclamation commemorating the Literacy Coalition of Palm Beach County's 35th year of the Love of Literacy Luncheon to be presented on April 9th.
I have a motion by Commissioner Marino, a second by Vice Mayor Woodward. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 6-0.
Thank you. And I just wanted to do a shout out to Tammy Field, Jonathan Brown, and Jennifer Cirillo. We were all at the United Way event on Thursday night. Thank you for the support. Tammy and I were both up for an award, but we had a panel and it was a lively discussion, and hopefully no one recorded it because I think I used a couple of words that I probably shouldn't have said in public, but it was great being a panelist, and thank you for the support that night.
Vice Mayor Woodward, you're recognized.
Thank you. I'd just like to echo that is Election Day. There's a number of municipalities having elections today. I did vote by mail to make sure, just in case today went really long, I was able to get my vote in. But not going to lie, I'm ready for this one to be over. My city, I got 15 mailers yesterday, so post office is happy, but please vote.
Thank you. And Commissioner Marino, you're recognized.
Those of you that are going to drop off your ballots on Cherry Road at the Supervisor of Elections office, we have a sinkhole that is being repaired. I am not sure of the status of the repair. All good? Open? It wasn't open yet last night when we did canvassing. It's open. Okay.
It is open.
Drop your ballots off at the Supervisor of Elections office on Cherry Road. Let your voice be heard. I voted this morning. Thank you.
Thank you. Administrator Bruzo, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And I know each board member is very bashful about their personal accolades, and I wanted to send my congratulations to Tammy Fields being nominated. However, Commissioner Marino was actually the recipient of the award that night. So congratulations to Commissioner Marino.
Thank you. And lastly, I want to thank staff and everyone for your hard work, everything you do for us, making us, keeping us informed so we can make the best decisions for our residents. Lastly, I'd like to give direction to staff to work with the property owner on the Trump Golf Course lease extension and to bring something back to us. Thank you. Okay, I will see everyone at 1 p.m. upstairs. Read in record that paragraph.
Oh, you do? That's so funny. We ought to get together. We probably have more in common than we do.
I now announce the commencement of this one, announcing the, okay. Commencement of an attorney-client session on Tuesday, March 10th, 2026 at 1 p.m. in accordance with Florida Statute 286.0118 regarding the lawsuit styled Palm Beach County versus City of Palm Beach Gardens, case number CA 2021CA006276. The attendees are as follows: Mayor Sarah Baxter, Vice Mayor Marcy Woodward, Commissioner Greg Weiss, Commissioner Marino, Commissioner Bobby Powell, Commissioner Joel Flores, County Administrator Joe Bruzo, County Attorney David Audie, Chief Assistant County Attorney Maureen Martinez, and Assistant County Attorney Ryan Mayer. The attorney-client session will be attended by an official court reporter as required by law. The length of the attorney-client is estimated to be approximately 1 hour. This meeting is adjourned to a closed session. After the shade meeting, okay, good. Thank you, everyone. Oh, I need a second.
Second.
I have a second by Vice Mayor Woodward. All in favor?
Who's the maker, please?
Commissioner Weiss will make it. I have a second by Vice Mayor Woodward. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 6-0.